All right, I'm standing here waiting for people to join and there are things to start. It's being recorded. So for posterity, I'll be standing here waiting for people to start. Oh, there, click. It's a live thing. I see a live countdown is not moving yet. Top left, live 000. Any buttons to hit?
I don't believe so.
Big red one?
This says end live video.
Oh, so let's not hit that one.
I'll check on my phone.
Okay. If this is showing, we're just waiting to make sure on our end that it's showing before we begin. The live little light is flashing, but no time is going by on the timer. It says people are here. It says 4 people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we are live? Fantastic. All right, thanks, Declan.
No problem.
Good morning, everyone. This is strange to me. Usually I teach classes on Zoom, so when I ask a question or throw something out, I get something back. Thanks very much. So, hello, my name is Paul Wallace. Check out my cool hat. It's a clock. I'm going to stand over here. So, today I'm going to be giving you the basics of foam rolling. So, foam rolling is really a way using some of these implements here. That you can loosen up tight muscles, especially in large muscle groups in the legs, across the back, lats, up on the shoulders, upper chest, to really make movement easier. And to do foam rolling usually before you go for a walk. You can literally get out of bed, do some leg stretching, and do some foam rolling, and have a fantastic day. I do a lot of cycling. Before I get on my bike for an hour, I do 10 minutes of foam rolling. And usually after an hour or 2-hour ride, another 5 minutes of foam rolling afterwards to loosen it out. I want to show you some of the tools and implements that I use. Now, in no way are all of these required. These are the pieces that I use. I'm a personal trainer, corrective exercise specialist, where this sort of foam rolling comes in, SMR, self-myofascial release. I'm a triathlon community level coach. I'm a spin instructor. I'm doing courses in life coaching. I like to learn, I like to share, and I thrive on helping. So that's a bit about me. My name is Paul Wallace. Hello. I teach classes here Tuesdays and Thursdays with the circuit class in the movement room. So I'll run through some of the items we have here. So this is probably the most common one you see. This is the foam roller. These cost $30 to $40. This is a tiny bit softer. There's actually a bit of give. It's not smushy like a pillow, but there's a tiny bit of give inside this foam roller. This is a great starting point if you're looking for something like that. I prefer the firmer one, like the black one back there. But I started with this, and now it just gathers dust in my house. So when we're doing the rolling, this will not be as hard a rounded edge. There's a slight bit of give. So if you do have perhaps like a hip injury or a back injury or whatnot, maybe going with a softer roller will be better for you. In no way is this going to do less of a job than something firmer. Down backwards, something firmer, like the black roller. So we look at the black roller back here. This roller is very, very firm. This is like Warrior Battles, getting the grandkids, kind of smoking that. This is a super, super hard roller. This is the firmest they come. This is, again, $30 to $40. I think I'll get this one from Amazon, actually. Nope, I bought this one at Lucky's, just off the LRT tracks, Lucky's Exercise. Very, very firm, very, very solid. These rollers are a standard 36 inches long. You can get ones that are shorter when it comes to doing work up in the shoulders and the lower back. This is a good length because your body can be in different places and you're not going to roll off the edge. So I recommend if you're going to get a roller, don't buy a small one for every day. 36 inches length is your standard. If we come over here, this yellow one is my dog's teeth in there when he was a puppy. This yellow one is a medium firmness, sort of between the blue one and the black one. This, I believe, it's 14 inches long. This is the one I take on vacation, or the one I put inside my gym bag when I'm heading off to the gym. It's one I use before I teach my classes online here, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it does the same job as the big rollers. It's a bit different, though, because I have to kind of work legs individually, and I can't really do back pieces with it because it's too short. It's also a 4-inch diameter. A standard foam roller is a 6-inch diameter. So 6 inches, 36 inches long, Start with the blue. If you use your foam rolling, kick it up to the black, get a good workout. This is great when you're traveling, you're going to visit the grandkids, you're off to the cottage, or you want to leave equipment there. This fits inside my carry-on luggage when I go to Mexico with my family. Beautiful, because they don't have foam rollers in resorts. And then I have some old yoga mats, but no foam rollers. Two last little pieces. I'm going to come forward a little more for this one here. So this is a roller stick. It's like a baking thing. I'm forgetting the word for what it is. So each individual piece spins. So you don't get things pinching. You aren't becoming one giant roller. This is good for doing a passive style rolling. So if you're someone who's perhaps more affected by Parkinson's or an older age and needs a caregiver to help loosen things out, I'll show you how to use this guy here. Very great. This is a trigger point ball. This is basically the same size as a lacrosse ball, but it's made of a very, very light, very, very dense foam. This guy is one I use mostly on my calves. You can use a lacrosse ball for this as well. I just use this because it has a tiny bit of give to it where a lacrosse ball does not, and it's a lot lighter for me to carry in my everyday bag. This goes everywhere with me. If I leave the house and I'm going to anything fitness related, I have this ball with me, guaranteed. So let me show you some of the basics. Let's start off with the big stick. I'm going to kick this over. So this guy is about, squeak. I think I paid $16 for this. I bought it from Amazon. You can find them locally as well. They even carry these, I think, at the Superstore. They call it a mobility stick or a roller stick or anything like that. This is by a company called Rehut. If you look for foam rolling, this will show up online. So rolling pin, that's what it is for baking, rolling pin. So the advantage of using one of these for some people that perhaps can't get down on the mat, super easy, whatnot, is you can apply pressure. And you can roll things down. As long as you put the leg in a position where the muscle is relaxed. So the muscles work up here, the quads. Their job is to connect under here to this little tendon that the doctor hits. Well, these muscles primarily is to do this, to lift this up. So if you put the leg down into a slightly extended position, heel slightly in front of the knee, and rest your weight on the opposite leg, make this as relaxed as possible. So this leg can be tense, these muscles are loose, and you can roll. We always roll away where we're using a rolling pin roller. We don't roll towards. We roll away because this is quite targeted. And you can roll down along each side. And you can shift your hands. You can do rolling right inside as well. And as much as we have muscles on the front and back of our legs, we also have muscles on the outside and the inside of our legs that control movement. Muscles here basically do this. Muscles back here do this. Muscles here kick us out. Muscles here bring us back. These guys are often ignored, but very, very important. We're going to hit those today. Also, when you're down here in a relaxed position and your calves are soft, you can roll down here as well, especially on the outside here in the perineals. So great for surface releasing and sort of muscle relaxation massage aspects, very light. Not really ideal for deeper tissue work. In my opinion, I think it's much more beneficial to use your actual body weight and the other rollers we have to sort of dig deeper in that regard. So I'm going to move over to those. And yes, I have this planned, but I am a bit of a rambler. So put that down there. Grab the firm guy. So foam rolling has two main pieces, two main schools of thought. One is to sort of roll back and forth as if you were the dough and this was a rolling pin. So sort of roll back and forth across the muscles, and just by rolling it up, you're loosening them up. This can actually tighten them, and it's not necessarily the most beneficial. The most beneficial, science says, is targeted or trigger pointed. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. trigger pointed. So what it means is while we're doing some of these movements, if you feel a point of tension where it's like, ah, like the beginning of a charty horse or someone's digging their knuckle, that's where you want to sit. You want to rest in that and breathe. This is not pain. This is a moment of discomfort. Pain is bad. I don't like pain. If it hurts, like it's a stabbing pain, please get off that position. Please shift that movement. The first rule of foam rolling, as my class will know, is we don't roll across joints. We're not going to roll across the side of our knees, the back of our knees, the front of our knees. We're not going to roll anywhere across a major joint. We don't roll down to our ankles all the way. Those pieces are just not meant to hold body weight. There's some theories about shear and things like that. So we don't want to get into that. So I'm going to show you the basic rolling that I do before I do any kind of workout, because I do more cycling than anything else right now, because swimming is difficult for scheduling for me. I'm going to start with my lower legs. We'll do some work up here in the front of my chest, on my back, and my shoulders, a bit on the lats. But we're going to start down on the mat. So if you'd like to follow along or just watch and learn, if you're doing a 4-foot mat, the best way to start with the quads on the front here is put your knees right near the edge of the mat. Put the roller right up by your legs. They're basically touching your legs. We are going to go down into a plank position for this. For most of this foam rolling positions, you're going to have to carry part of your body weight if you're using a full-size roller and you want to get the most benefit. I will show you how you can adapt that to use less body weight. You can do this right off the bat by sliding that roller over and only putting it on one leg. So to show what we're going to do with the bright yellow roller I brought for this purpose, pretend this is longer in this direction. We're going to get down on the mat, we're going to roll just above our knees, and we're going to roll up just below our anatomy. And then we're going to slowly roll that back down. Now, while we're doing this, if we hit a point where we feel a chunk of tension, a knot, that's a GTO bundle, Golgi tendon organs, we want that to release. It's like a pressure point. You're there, you're hurting it, and you push it. It's like a muscle cramp, a muscle bit of crunchiness there, and it will release, and you will feel it melt away. That's what will happen. It'll be tight, and then it will melt away. This can take 30 to 40 seconds, or it can take a little less. Let's leave this here. So again, down on the mat. Just above those knees. And again, first rule, we don't roll across joints. Now we want to start just below our anatomy of our hips. Now see, my weight is now on my elbows, but it's not all my weight. I can do push-ups here, because this foam roller down here is supporting a bunch of weight too. And the reason I put the roller at the bottom of the mat and my hands near the top is I'm going to walk forward. I'm now shifting my weight at my shoulders. Move forward. My legs are relaxed. I'm not trying to keep them tight. They are hip width apart, so they are side by side. They're not out, and they're not crossed. My feet are together, my legs are together. But I'm not pointing or doing anything because I do not want the front of these legs to tighten up. I want them to relax. And I'm rolling forward. I did roll last night, so I'm not too tight today. Oh, there's a bit of a tension in my right leg. I feel a little point there. So I'm going to hang on here until I feel it release. Now, the first time you do this, it will be an experience. The only way I can say it. You may be enjoying it, you may not be enjoying it. But the benefits, and when it's over, it'll feel so good. Have you ever gone for like a Swedish relaxation massage? The whole time you're like, ah. Ever go to your masseuse for a sports massage? They basically just beat you up. And for an hour, you lie there crying. But when the hour's over, oh, it's so good. Your body's fluffy. Great. Okay, then release and go a little higher up. Now, as we get to just above the knee, we'll start to get a bit of overlap and connection from some other muscles that are joining into to support that knee structure. So right above the knee, you don't need to roll right to the knee. You can roll to right above it. You feel a lot of connections. You feel that tension sort of change. It's a lot of muscle work wrapping it around that knee to stabilize it. The knee is an amazing joint. Google the muscles around your knee, your mind blown. Unbelievable. The vastus brothers. Okay, got a bit of tension in there. Right above it. Oh, right there. Now don't try and keep up with me on this pace. If you are still just getting on that roller and you got a tension point, hang on until it relaxes. I say 30 to 40 seconds. That's pretty good. Let's get that down. We don't want to go longer than that because we can't start to restrict blood flow. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. There's the feeling. And again, it's not pain, it's pressure. And it's momentary. This does pass. And trust me, when you're done and you get off, you'll be like, oh my goodness gracious. This feels so good. Just down to your anatomy. Go up to with the middle of the thigh. And you can put your hands down, come up with your knees. Just like that. So what we've done basically is we've rolled from just above our knees, all the way up to below our anatomy, and down here. So we have our quads, quadriceps, big chunk of muscles, quadriceps, but we get our big quad here, what everyone calls the quad. To just above the knee, not rolling across the joint, and we've made this loose. If you feel your legs now, you'll probably feel a little bit lighter, a bit smushier, a bit softer. So like I said, I come from cycling, so my legs are kind of big, but it's good. It's good fun. Okay, so now we want to balance things out. If we've hit these guys whose job is this, we want to hit these guys now whose job is this. That means we're going to roll our glutes, which is our bum muscles, and we're going to roll our hamstrings. And this can be both legs at a time or one leg at a time. So we're going to start with our glutes. And the first glute roll I like to do, like this. Now this one's a bit weird for positioning. You can't put a chair behind you, something to lean on. Get those feet up and kind of roll just across. So it feels like the femoral is going to shoot forward and roll back. If we really want to target those glutes, we do 1 foot over. Kick back to the middle, and you really feel it. And this is less likely to find a muscle tension point. This one I prefer to do the bread dough maneuver. Just back and forth, loosen things out. Just a couple times. It may not be too tight. I'm feeling pretty good today. Pretty good in the glutes. Let's try this side. As you can see, I'm putting the pressure on my shoulders. This side, this is a bit harder. You got to lean back into it. So put a chair behind you. Do it against a wall so you don't roll away. It's good to have a mat under you so your roller doesn't shoot across the hardwood floor. I've done that. Yeah, those are feeling pretty good. I'm going to kick back. Now, we're going to do our hamstrings. So the hamstrings are the back of our leg from just above the knee. Because what's the first rule? We don't roll across joints. Okay, just above the knee to just below the glute, just below the curve of the butt. Now I kind of do mine both at the same time. I'm doing it backwards. I'm used to doing this for a camera. This is weird. Okay, so we're going to go. Oh, I had it right. No, I didn't. I'm going to go here. Again, now I'm up on my leg. I'm on my hands. This is all, my weight is all up here. And we just roll down. This one you can do single leg. I'll show you that in a second. And again, my legs are relaxed. My legs are not super tight. Just relaxed. I'm just rolling out. I tend not to find as many tension points. Our society is very quad heavy. The front of our legs. There's the curl of my buttocks. Here's the glutes. So I'll come back. We sit in chairs a lot. We don't tend to extend our legs very much, even going upstairs. So we rely on the front of our legs an awful lot for movement. That's where the first roll is probably find the most tension in your lower body. Okay, so as you saw, I was up on my arms and my shoulders for that. That takes a bit of exertion. You can do that one leg at a time. So I'll use a yellow to show you this. You can't just put it underneath one leg. This leg is not underneath it at all. And you can roll, this is one. So now I have two hands, my bum's on the ground, and this foot's also supporting me. You can roll a tiny bit, scooch forward, roll a tiny bit, scooch forward. You're still getting that pressure, still getting that roll, And that's a good reason to have one of the smaller rollers, I find, because if you're doing this with the larger roller, it is 6 inches versus 4 inches, and you're quite a bit higher. You can't really put your bum down. So if you can support yourself with 2 hands and 1 foot, this foot over here, go ahead and use the 6 inch. If you can make this work with a 6 inch, cool. I like to have the 4 inch. Makes it a bit easier. Okay, so we've hit the front of our legs for lifting, back of our legs for that kicking, so we've hit both sides of that. Now I want to work on the outsides, which are abductors, because they abduct, they take things away from the body, and work on the adductors on the inside, because they bring things back towards the body. Abduct, take the baby away, adduct, bring the baby back. Thank you, Lorraine Glass. So we're going to grab the big roller for this, and let's start with the outside. This is probably people's least favorite. Because when you get to the outside, we're going to hit the TFL, tensor fascia latae. It's this big strip of material down in here. So this can be a little more more of an experience. You can experience this one more. Okay, so you're going to put the roller down near the bottom. Maybe just up off the mat. We want more body support for this because this, as I said, this can be more of an experience. I'm going to come across and put my elbow down, come onto my legs, just below my hip. I'm going to rest on the foam roller. Another foot I'm going to bring forward. So right now, if I need to, I have this foot for support, I have this elbow for support, and I have this foot for support. And here I'm going to slowly, and this hand as well. And here I'm going to just slowly crawl forward. This will feel probably like the foam roller is hitting you in the sole, because there's some experiences here. Just scooch forward, and if it's like, oh, it's painful, off, you can easily lift off. This is my least favorite, but probably most essential roll I need to do. So this leg's taking a lot of weight here, because it's connected right to the hips. I can really lift that right off. Again, right up to the side of the knee, but not across the knee. There, just above my knee. I'll slide it back down. And here you're not looking for those little individual points. This is more of a rolling pin, but not fast. Just slowly. The squeak is my shoe sole running across the mat, if you can hear that. Running across the floor. I'm going to go up again. For those wondering what this piece of paper on the ground is, this is a basic image of some of the workouts, some of the rollers we're going to be doing today to show you. And I will send this to Declan, and he'll put it up when this video gets put into archives. So you can see this video on the Parkinson's Alberta Facebook, and you will be able to see this image to remind you of what motions we're doing. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Take a moment to feel the difference between your legs now. You've rolled this one leg. See how it feels. Give my legs some hip rotations. Now feel the leg you haven't rolled yet. I can almost guarantee it feels a bit stiffer, a bit deader, not quite as lively. But we're going to take care of that. So we're going to come on down, put our roller near the end. So you need some space in front of your mat for that front leg to come forward. So again, I shift the weight to my elbow and hand, lift up, put my leg on the roller, other leg to support. I'm just sneaking my way on up. You may find one leg is a lot tighter than the other because you have a dominant leg. Absolutely normal. We all have a bias. We're not just left-handed and right-handed. We're also left-bodied, right-bodied. Some people use the left arm and the right leg more. It's crazy because it's true. This one's not as bad. Not as well, bad's the wrong word. This one's not as tight. So there is in the comments, but Declan is monitoring this upstairs for us. And if you have questions, please go ahead and post them into the chat. And Declan will come down near the end of this video, and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. So I don't have like a quick online certification. I do have 2+ years of post-secondary in personal training. So when I answer a question, I'm not making it up. I know what I'm saying. Okay, so now you can feel the difference on the outside of those legs. Oh, you lift out to the side. Oh, yeah. But now I can almost guarantee you when you lift out to the side, you feel a little pull in here. Not a bad pull. But you're like, okay, I can do this. I can kick my bum. I can lift out. Oh, but it's a bit tight in here because we haven't rolled our adductors on the insides of our legs. This one looks a bit funky. I'll use the L to demonstrate. So step one, get your mind out of the gutters. This is anatomy. This is perfectly normal. I'm now going to pretend that this is the mat on the floor so I can show you this. We're going to take our leg, kick it out beside us. We're putting a foam roller right here. And we're going to roll back and forth the inside of our thigh. So I'm literally rolling right in here. But we do it down on the mat. And this one's going to be pretty, these muscles are pretty tight. They're shorter, they're quite firm, they're quite strong as they stabilize the leg through the hip. So you want to do is you want to take the foam roller and we're going to turn it sideways. And you want to put it right on the edge of your mat. So it's on this far edge closest to the camera right now. So I have a whole mat over here to lie on. I'm going to come on, I'm going to put this foam roller right as close to my anatomy as I can. That's whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to lie down. I'm now resting my other hip on the mat. And this leg is right here. Boom, like this. Like you're cuddling a body pillow that's made of the hard foam. I don't know how else to explain it. And then you want to just take your legs and your arms and walk yourself backwards. So no matter this leg is dead, it's just resting. It's just lying here. And I'm rolling up towards my knee. So the roller is traveling across the mat. My body's traveling away from you across the mat. And I can feel that stretch. And here I sort of just tip my hips a bit, take the last little bit in there, and I roll back to, wow, oh, that's a feeling. I've done a lot of cycling this week, so I'm definitely feeling these guys. I feel them on the hills. Go back and forth a couple times, give it a good feel. Oh, there we go. Especially as you reach closer into your hips towards your body anatomy, you'll feel quite tight. That's quite normal. Hello, whoever that was. We're rolling on up. Oh, Declan. There we go. Okay. And we want to hit the other side. We're going to rotate ourselves right around. Normally, you just put the roller over here, but I'm showing you guys. I want to face that way and talk to you because that's rude. So again, I'm resting on my side, like, hey, what's up? And I'm going to roll this leg up over, bring that knee up. So this knee is the same height as my hips. And this other leg is straight back behind me. Oh, yeah, this is tight. Now, you don't need to push hard to get a feeling. If you're like, this isn't really that tight, great, good for you. Like going like, oh, I'm not really feeling it. I want to feel more of a stretch and pushing on your leg. You don't need to do that. We're just trying to release any tension in the body to bring it back to homeostasis. Just bring it back to its baseline, where it's comfy and it can move. Rolling on up. Rolling on up, rolling on up to the anatomy. With a big foam roller on the floor. I'm rolling on up. The Jeffersons, remember that show? Good show. Yes, I'm older than I look. Okay, there we go. So here we're not looking for those release points. We're just looking for a nice little roll. And what's the first rule of foam rolling? We don't roll across joints. Nope, nope, nope. And you just come on off to one side, supported by the mat. Et voila. Now, we've rolled here for this movement. We've rolled in the back of our legs for this movement, for legs coming up. That's hamstrings. And because we've released both of these, when the hamstring is tight, you can't lift as high. When the quad is tight, the hamstring can't curl the leg back. Because when I lift here, I'm pulling on this little tendon. That tendon is attached to these guys right here. So if this is released, this can move more. There's your flexibility. And if this is released, This can move more because this is tight. It won't let you lift that leg very high. So once you release, you can find your legs will actually lift up higher than they could before. So let's take a moment to feel these guys. Now you put that leg out. Oh, hey, it doesn't feel tight inside my thigh anymore. How crazy is that? Oh, this is wonderful. This is how you feel after foam rolling. So we are currently 26 minutes in because I talk way too much. But that's the lower body pieces. You may have noticed what we haven't done is gone below the knees. Below the knees, we have two main areas to hit. So I'm going to kick over this way a bit. I'll use my small roller here so you can see it nice and clearly. And we'll do this leg first. So we do want to get the back of our calves. The calves are two separate chunks. We have the soleus, which is deep here, and we have the gastroc, the big mighty calf muscle. I used to run a lot more, so I have quite large calves. So I'm going to put it just below our knee. I'm sitting in the edge of our mat, leg out straight just below our knee. I'm going to just use the foot in these two hands, slide it along the mat to release that. Now you're going to see how far down I go. Right there, just past the belly of the gastroc. I don't really want you guys rolling down to the soleus. It's kind of, you get down this area, we're rolling across the tendon, our Achilles tendon. We don't really want to do that. The Achilles tendon is actually formed from the distal end of the gastroc. So this big muscle here is actually what becomes your Achilles tendon at the bottom. And if you're doing this, you're going like, I'm not really feeling that. It's not really doing much for me. Oh, look, let's add some weight by putting our leg on top and just relaxing them. Now, you do need to use your hands and slide back here. But I guarantee you feel a difference now. And here I'm literally sliding the hands a little bit, sliding back across the mat, scooching my bum across the mat like a thing that does that. I don't have an example. I felt that one a lot more. These ones I really prefer to roll away, not towards the body. And here you may feel those tight tension, those tight muscle points we felt in our quads. So the important thing to make sure is to get both legs. But before I switch legs, hey, there's a bunch of muscles on the outside of my leg here too, the peroneals. They are really important for controlling this ankle movement. Ankle's kicking out, ankle inversion, eversion, and the calf does this movement. Flexion, extension. So I'm going to grab my foot here, put my toe on top, and I'm going to use this toe to turn my foot sideways. So my lower leg is now pointing away from me. My hip is rotated. This leg is on top, and this foot is holding that toe down for me. So the top leg's doing a tiny bit of work. And now I'm rolling towards you, and I'm rolling the outside of my calf. And here, if you've never rolled this before, you may experience a new sensation. You may enjoy it, or you may not. And this one is a bit more. This one is up on those shoulders, up on those arms. This one does use a fair bit of arm strength. You can roll like this, where you find a tiny point, roll up a tiny bit, and then roll a tiny bit. This is also a fantastic candidate for using the Rehut hand roller. So I'm going to show you that for the other leg. So if I stand here now, I just rolled this leg. So if I feel that ankle is all loose, the calf is loose. The calf's job is to move the toes like this. Its job is to lift you. But it's also, it needs to relax so we can do this. This is the opposite movement. This inversion and eversion, that's the peroneals on the outside. So now I'm going to show you that similar movement, but to use the Rehut roller on the other leg. Because that one can be so challenging as far as how to move the body and how to support the weight, this is a great candidate for it. So first we want to just make sure we put our foot down in position, shift our weight to the opposite leg. So this guy just rolled out, so let him hold my weight. Slightly put my weight on that leg. So this calf is relaxed. You can poke it and it's jiggly. This one is tight. This one is jiggly. So we're going to get our roller on the back of our leg, holding it here, starting just below the knee, again, not on the tendons. If you can feel those tendons on the back there, don't put the roller below those, distal, away from the body. Nice and relaxed, weight's over here, this leg is engaged, it's pushing down, and then just roll down. You see how fat my calf gets there as I really push. And here you can go pretty hard because it's not your body weight. It is your hands pushing like this, which is not a ton of muscle strength for most people. So you can give that a few. You can also come to the inside, not necessarily straight, but at a slight angle. So you get this back side. You get the edge of the calf there, edge of the gastroc. We call it the gastroc. It's actually the gastrocnemius or gastrocnemius. We just call it the gastroc. Saying gastrocnemius is weird. It's got this weird C. Gastrocnemius. Phonetically, it's very strange. Weird muscle name. But yeah, one of my favorites. All right, so now we're going to get the perineals on the outside. So here you want to put the roller, not like this, because now we're twisting that. Hold it up like a sword. Get the backhand like it's a paddle. Because this guy's going to push towards your body, and this guy's going to pull across your body. That way you get the most strength out of your shoulders. Oh boy, and go slow. Roll down slow. Oh yeah, this really hits. Yeah, this is good. Hope you guys have some questions for me. I probably have another 10 to 15 minutes of explaining some stuff, a little less than that. And then we'll go to questions. If you don't have any questions, that's okay. Don't put yourself on the spot. You can just send them in the text, and Declan will come down and ask me. It could be about equipment, where to find things, why I use certain pieces, frequency. Maybe you have a question about avoiding a hip injury or things like that. Most of the stuff I've shown you today has been lower body. Upper body pieces require a little more strength, and when you get upper body, you have a lot of smaller muscles. So it can be a little sketchier to play around up there. Well, let's do it. Let's do some big upper body with the roller. So what we don't want to do is bend our bodies backwards like a, oh, I think I see a question. Good. I can't read it from here, so whoever you are, we'll get to you. I'm going to sit down, and I want this to be up above my lower back. I want it to be up near my shoulders, like this. And I'm going to arch my back up. And now I can control that movement. So I'm coming down about halfway through my shoulder, but I'm not rolling up under my neck. I'm basically rolling through my shoulder blades. I don't want to roll up too high and bend my body backwards. Because then you can be stuck in a position where you're bent over a roller. When you try and get off it sideways, you can really hurt your ribs. Here we're sort of, this is surface. We can't really go deep because we have muscular structure in the way, scapula, shoulder blades. So I'm just rolling. This is just a general relaxation of the back area. That feels pretty good. All right, so now, if you've seen, my question's here. Good, there's a question. How often do you roll? Do you stretch before rolling? I tend to stretch. There's two different kinds of stretching. There would be like static and dynamic. So a static stretch is like, when you go out, you go, and you hold it back into position. I tend not to do static stretching before I work out. Again, I tend not to, because you can hurt yourself, you can injure yourself. Also, if you've done a workout, you're really loose and limber, doing static stretching can be, look how flexible I am, I'm so loose, and you can actually hurt yourself. So I'm more of a fan of dynamic stretching. So examples would be, if you're stretching out your legs, stretching out your hamstrings with a hurdler stretch on here. Going in, and stretching, coming back, doing little pulses. This is a fantastic hamstring stretch. With my circuit class, I do a bit of static stuff, but I also know their capabilities. I work with them for a couple of years, so I know how well they can move, and I can spot who's moving well that day and who's not. So doing something like this, so moving in and out of a stretch will give you the same benefit if we're not looking to be flexible like a gymnast as sitting here and holding that stretch. If I hold that stretch, that muscle's under tension the entire time. If I've just exercised and I'm very loose and limber, I can overstretch that muscle and cause injury. So I tend to use dynamic pieces, but I do stretch not as often as I should. I'm much more of a foam roller to release things, and then I let the body movement of the cycling or the running manage the flexibility. It lets me see how I'm feeling. Some days I'll do 5 minutes of running and then I'll do a little stretch as I'm warming up. And I roll before I stretch because the stretch is going to loosen lengthen the muscle, not necessarily through the body of the muscle, but through the connection points, the insertion and like the origin and insertion. So for muscle groups. So if I've released those muscles and relaxed them, then when I stretch, I'm getting more of a benefit. So I roll first. That was a long answer to a short question, so thank you for your patience. Okay, where did I want to go? Oh, I want to do lats. Okay, I'm actually going to do those standing up with the ball. So if you've seen swimmers like Michael Phelps, you see swimmers, they put their arms up like this, and they have these big fans of muscle, these big giant wings. These are the lats on the back, latissimus dorsi. If you put your hands overhead, and you pull your hands down in this position, with the shoulder blades kind of back a tiny bit, you'll feel them. They're right back here. These are the lats. That's where this little puppy, the little trigger point ball, comes in handy, and a wall. What you can do, so just move some weights from my class out of the way here, is you can't put the ball directly onto your lats, and you can Google where the lats are. You'll find lots and lots of wonderful images. And you can sort of roll that ball around against that wall, rolling around the lat area. This is more of a massage relaxation really than a trigger point. It is a bit of a foam rolling kind of piece. So it is sort of below the shoulder blades on the back of the body. Hard to really show on here. You can foam roll the lat by laying down and putting your arm out. Then your body weight, it only catches this part of the lat. Doesn't really hit the back unless you roll back onto it. I'm not a fan of that one. Maybe with the 4-inch, with the 6-inch, not my fave. Something we see a lot in modern society is that people stand up, they stand and their shoulders do this. The shoulders roll forward anteriorly, and the hands down, I guess. Anatomically, we should stand like this. Hands at our sides. My hand is nice and relaxed. We tend to roll our shoulders forward, and our hands down like this. A little more simian representation. You see my shoulder comes forward like this. This is because of tight lats, and also a tight muscle right in here, called the Pec Minor, which is one of the elevators for your rib cage. Connects here, comes down like a tiny guitar string, and connects right above your anatomy. Actually, very deep to the anatomy, but you can access it right above. And here's where this ball comes in, and a wall. Any wall that is a corner in your house is what you need. So you go ahead and find it. You can feel for where this is. You just sort of feel above your anatomy, about a couple inches in from your armpit, and go a little higher, and then push with one finger. If it feels like you're piercing your soul, you're on it. That's it. Ah, there it is right there. You put that ball right there, shrug it down just above your anatomy, and we're going to put that ball against this wall. You just lightly lean against it. So now at the ball, ball, Pec Minor on my chest. I'm facing the wall directly, my hips, my shoulders, my feet. I'm just going to run this arm up and down, and you'll feel that ball move as you do this. And go a little bit higher. Ha 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 ha. I'm just arm overhead, down, arm to your head. Do this 10 times on each side. And this qualifies as self-myofascial release because I'm using a foam ball. If you're using a lacrosse ball, I still count this in my foam rolling because it is muscle release from a trigger point. And do that on both sides. So if you've done that, you'll feel a difference. So if you now go to this one hand that you've just released and try and move it backwards, move it up, move it back this way, move it out. And then the arm you didn't release, do it. And you will feel a pull right here where the muscle is tight because you haven't released it yet. Tiny ball, one place, up and down, 10 times. Just in, I'll make it so you can see that. This is the Pec Minor. It's a pectoralis major of the pecs. It's a big muscle beach, big strong guy position. Pec Minor is above that. So these are the pecs here. I can do this because I'm a guy and society lets me. Right above it. Right here. My fingers are where the Pec Minor is. And you can feel that if you push. Feels like you're trying to cause yourself pain. And then this is where like a foam ball, because a foam ball will smush, will flatten the tiniest bit, while a lacrosse ball will just stay super hard and really, really hit. And as you lean into it against that wall, keep that pressure on that ball. You can do it even just like this. You can push on that muscle and move the arm up and down. So I'm pushing with this hand hard on that muscle. Crazy how I did that. So this side too. Oh, yeah, this is tight for me in my leg because I'm always leaning forward in my bars. This is tight. Oh. Into the straight arm. Yeah, good fun. There we go. That's nice. See the way I keep bending my elbows, I keep my arm straight. I'm trying to cheat. My body's trying to cheat because it hurts. Your body will always try and find the easiest way. That's your body's job. Find the quickest, easiest way to do something. Like that. That's great. That's really good stuff. Ooh. Okay. So let's get release the front. With the roller or the ball, you can release the back. You can really feel your lats. You want to find out where they are as far as body movement. You can do a position called an A, where you put your arms out to your sides and roll your arms straight backwards like this. And you will feel the lats in your back. If you do this and you feel it here in your triceps, before you go back, bend your elbows, and then go back, and then you'll feel your lats, because the triceps are busy. They're being stretched out by your arms. So just doing that motion, bring your elbows backwards, but not arching it back, just stay upright. Just bring it back like that, and you'll feel where the lats are, and you can put a ball on that. If you really want to roll the lats on the foam roller, I'll show it a little bit. I'm not going to do it much myself because this doesn't work well for me. Just below the armpit, on the back. Right there. Oh, I don't like it. So I'm not a fan. For me, this just is I feel very stretched out. The shoulder doesn't feel like it's supporting me. If I go up here, I don't have the effect of the roller. So I do this one with the ball. You can also put a roller against the wall and sort of roll your body along it at an angle. How do I explain this better? Put the foam roller behind you on the wall. So I'm leaning against the wall now, and you roll your body this to the side. You can hit the lat that way, using a flat wall. Okay, so we've rolled front and back for balance, in and out for balance. We've rolled our calves, we've rolled our perineals, we've released our chest, done some work on the back as well, so we have good motion forward and backwards. And we did a tiny bit of shallow sort of surface relaxation across our shoulders, lying down on the mat. You are pretty much loosened up. Now, you can go online and find foam rolling that will go far, far deeper in depth. There are certifications for the Alexander method on foam rolling where you can spend 45 minutes releasing every little muscle with a ball and your free time. What I've shown you today is the basics to really, it's pretty much the minimum that I would do. It's not going to take you a ton of time. When you're used to this, this is less than 10 minutes to release all these pieces. And really, for the vast majority of my days, that's it. Don't need a lot of space in your house. This I got off Amazon for like 14 bucks. Trigger point ball. Right now at London Drugs, they have some small foam rollers. They're like a 6-inch diameter, but about this long, with a trigger point ball for like 20 bucks. Normally these are 15. I found these actually, the actual trigger point balls at the dollar store for like 3 bucks. I bought like 10 of them. They're in my house, you can't have them. I use them for my clients. So yeah, little 4-inch foam roller and trigger point ball. This will do everything for the basics. If you want to dig and go a little deeper, and you want to take your time and be a little more full body supported, this is good for 1 leg at a time. 2 legs at a time, larger roller, or big blue. If you want to go, sorry, you see I didn't even use it because it's too soft for me. It doesn't dig deep enough for my satisfaction. So that's really the basic explanation. Again, I have the image, which I will give to Declan so he can post it up with this video live. I hope I didn't ramble too much. If you have any other questions, please submit them and we'll go through them. I will wait here for a few moments and just see if anybody posts any other questions. And then Declan's watching upstairs and he'll comp the video out or come down and close it down when he feels the time is done. Again, my name is Paul Wallace. I'm here volunteering my time for Parkinson's Alberta and for you, because you're awesome. Oh, I hear a door. Maybe that's Declan now. anybody had any final questions?
Oh, awesome.
And only responded to that one, so I don't know. So Declan's down here, so we're gonna do the proper thing because we are in an enclosed space. We are over 6 feet apart, but I'm still gonna mask up. If anybody needs to answer questions, I will. So as far as access to equipment, I could, what do you think, Declan? Should I provide you with a list of where people can buy some things? Would that be beneficial?
Sure, if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Put that in the YouTube
Okay.
video description.
Okay, so when I send the image in, I'll send in where I got these things. And you can go ahead and grab them. There won't be affiliate links. I'm not gonna make any money off this. It's just information for you guys because the benefits of foam rolling are endless. Especially with the Parkinson's population, as muscles don't recruit and move the way they should. Flexibility is something we can really, really focus on. And this is how we do it. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, feel free to submit them right now, or even ask them separately. We can try and get back to you. Maybe I have a question about that video, send it on to Declan or somebody here, and they'll send it on to me, and I'll respond with a, hey, what's up? Because I'm super casual. Okay, so like 4 people, somebody's already left. Do you have any other questions? Counting down from 10. Got a question, type it in. Almost 5 more seconds. I'm gonna go have some more coffee. All right, we're done. Sweet, okay. Thanks so much, everybody. Again, my name has been Paul Wallace. Have a great day.